Hi, everyone. Welcome to Curated by Becta's Big Night In number 13. Thanks so much for ordering this week, and thanks for letting us be a part of a very special celebration at home. Now, we've got an amazing menu tonight and a lot of moving parts. So I'm going to try to do everything kind of at once so that you can see it all. But I really hope that you take your time and do one course, take a break, second course, take a break, third course, take a break. The oven is actually used for all three courses. We've got something warm, all three courses. It's not an advanced menu, but it requires a little multitasking if you're trying to do it like me all at once. So bear with me if I have to do some juggling. Okay, first things first, we've got our beautiful baby fingerling potatoes and our kingarangi mushrooms. Now, they've gone in the oven. The chef is saying 20 minutes, but I think it's 15 minutes. We're going to see who's right. I'm going to put it in the final finishing instructions. So toss them with 1 tablespoon per person of neutral oil, so canola or grapeseed oil, salt and pepper. Put that in a few minutes ago. Next up, we use olive oil for our lovely asparagus. The asparagus has been blanched, and this is asparagus season. It is gorgeous stuff. A little salt and pepper on these guys. And rather than wasting a mixing bowl or messing one up, use the box that it came in. So this stuff is looking great. I'm going to put it on the baking sheet with parchment paper. My wife asked me today, do you use parchment paper at the restaurant? And we do, but I think it's more because our sheet pans at the restaurant get cleaned by professional dishwashers, and at home, not so much. So they're not quite as pretty as the ones at the restaurant. There we go. And so that's only for 4 minutes at the end. So I'm going to move this over, but it's been tossed and it's ready to go. All the things we want to bring to room temperature. We've got the duck. We're going to season it with some salt and some pepper. And we've already cooked this sous vide to rare. So the pan is warming up to medium heat. We don't need any oil or butter on that. I've got 2 pans here for my appetizer. So for the salmon pan, we need 2 tablespoons of neutral oil per person. And that's going to be drained off. And we need some butter, which of course I forgot to bring out. And then for the gnocchi, we're doing 1 tablespoon per person of this. So excuse me while I do a little prep here in terms of cutting the butter. And there's an optional butter component as part of the gnocchi. So we do need 1 tablespoon per person for the salmon in order to finish that off. So that is right here. Always use unsalted butter, by the way, so that you can judge how much salt is in there. And then I'm going to do a half optional because I like the extra butter. My wife maybe not. So we're going to do 1 tablespoon total for the gnocchi. You guys can decide how much butter you want on the gnocchi depending on how rich you want it. Okay, so let's see where we're at. We're going to bring these up to medium heat. And my duck pan is looking good. So that's going to take the longest. So I'm going to put that in right now. So skin side down, medium heat. We're going to let the fat render about 6 minutes until it's golden brown. And then we're going to flip it over for 1 minute and then throw it in the oven for 3 more minutes. Let's see. I'm done with the olive oil. I think what is next, the gnocchi, by the way, is a Parisian gnocchi, so it's a choux paste gnocchi. So it's very, very important to leave it in the fridge until you're ready to cook it. So it's going to get ready there, but it doesn't take quite as long as the salmon. Let's see how our salmon pan is doing. Chef Rich, who is our chef of Curated by Becta, actually spent a lot of time catching and then cooking Chinook salmon at a fish camp in northern British Columbia. So he knows his salmon. It's a beautiful piece of salmon. I'm not a fish guy or a salmon guy usually, but for this stuff, there's something about wild salmon that is just so special. It's not oily like the Atlantic salmon, and it doesn't taste all chemically. It's just lovely. So I probably should have got that pan a little bit hotter. So I need to adjust that, but we're looking for 3 minutes. We're going to drain off the oil and then add the butter on there. And then the gnocchi on this pan. So 4 minutes. So I think we're probably actually pretty good to go on the gnocchi. There we go. It's tossed in a little bit of oil already in order to make sure that it doesn't stick. And then we're going to throw the arugula in there. You saw the menu is originally Chinook salmon gnocchi, but I changed it today, which is why we do these test run videos to work out, hey, should it be 15 or 20 minutes for the fingerling potatoes and the mushrooms in there? And then I noticed that the gnocchi portion was small and the salmon portion was large. So it's Chinook salmon with some gnocchi and some arugula and the pesto. It's going to be an amazing dish. But I thought it was going to be more mixed in there. And it is like one lovely piece of Chinook salmon with the gnocchi. Speaking of pink things, we've got this St. John's Rosé, which I just love. And that's going to go with the gnocchi. So I hope you guys have ordered the wine pairing this week, because it is great. Okay, so I'm going to need to get a little bowl in order to drain the oil before I put the butter in. Now, I hope I will remember asparagus 4 minutes. And you know what? Now I'm getting it. Medium-high heat, not medium heat. And I'm like, why is this stuff not cooking faster? The medium heat is for the duck because you want to render it slowly. I always, the first few times I did duck breast through Curated, I overcooked the duck. You don't want to do that. So medium heat because, again, it's mostly cooked and you're just rendering the fat and then you're going to toss it over. There we go. And let's check out our salmon and see how we're doing. Maybe just a little bit more. I'm going to talk about the red wine tonight, which is another one of my huge favorites. This is one of my favorite wine reps as well, Heartland Shiraz from Langhorne Creek in Australia. And it comes to us from Lauren Hayes Vandenway, who is married to our Director of Operations, Peter. I love this stuff. It's like the perfect blend of rich and smoky, and then that little bit of acidity at the end that just makes it so nice with food. Okay, I'm going to use all the tongs tonight. Rendering along nicely. Turn up the heat just a little bit. Then we've got our sauce diab in the back here. So when I pull the duck is when I'm going to put the asparagus in. Okay, I definitely know that the salmon is gorgeous. Wow, that looks great. So, after 2 minutes, drain off the oil. I flipped it too soon. So I'm going to put this back in. I'm sure I haven't messed this up, but I might have messed up my countertop. Now the 1 tablespoon per person of butter. And we need a basting spoon. Make sure I'm following the instructions properly. Reduce the heat to low. Make sure to keep rocking your gnocchi there. Melt the butter around your pan. And now we do this thing where we baste the salmon with the butter. Yes, I know my induction stovetop doesn't like me when I pull the pan off. Okay. And then flip over to finish on the flesh side for 1 minute. So in the perfect world, if you were so adventuresome, you want your salmon to be kind of medium rare. So the skin inside is what you want a little bit crispy. Yes, 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 I know. That's okay, the heat's off now, so I'm good. Okay, doing the gnocchi. We got this lovely Look at that golden brownness. Okay, so it's there. The gnocchi is ready. So I'm going to add 1 tablespoon total for my gnocchi. And as soon as that melts, I'm going to throw the arugula in there. And we're going to saute the arugula very quickly, and some salt and pepper. Probably did a little too much arugula. That's all right. Oh yes. So my duck now needs to go in the oven. Hey Google, set a timer for 3 minutes. Hey Google, set a timer for 3 minutes. Turn that guy off. Sauce the ab, give it a little stir. Gnocchi's looking good. A little salt and pepper. Again, I really hope you guys don't multitask like me. I just don't want this video to be half an hour long. Because you don't need to watch me for half an hour. Okay, so plating on the first course. I'm going to plate it in bowls tonight. So gnocchi in the middle of the plate, then top with the salmon. Yeah, I thought the strawberry shortcake is going to look great with on a plate versus a bowl, which is what I usually use for our desserts. But I thought, why not switch it up tonight? Okay, there we go. And our salmon, oh, it looks amazing. And if you want a little more richness, why not add a little bit of the butter? Some paper towels to wipe off the side. I wonder in my retirement if I'm going to talk to myself while I cook. You've got me a little punchy tonight. I just came from opening of the Boys and Girls Club Clubhouse, which is a very important thing for me. Anyway, now we're going to add some pistou. Sort of a French pesto. Very nice. Hey Google, off. And then our roasted almonds. This is a good looking dish. Hey Google, how much time is left on the timer? Well, yeah. I just check on my mushrooms and potatoes. You know what? Surprise, surprise, the chef is right. We're going to roast these a little bit longer. So it's going to be closer to 20 minutes for those guys. And then I'm going to pull my duck out now. Hey Google, turn off the timer. Okay. There we go. So that's going to rest. And the asparagus is going to go in the oven. I can't wait to show you this, guys. There's our lovely Chinook salmon with the Parisian gnocchi, arugula, parsley pesto, and roasted almonds. I'm going to have a little break soon because we need to move along. We have to wait for the duck to rest and this stuff to go. But the shortcake needs to go in there. And of course, I didn't think about this, all 3 of my oven racks are going to be needed at the same time. So I'm going to do this real time. I think I can actually slide that in. I can. It fits exactly a baking sheet. So the dessert will probably be ready about the same time as the appetizer. Don't do this at home. All right, I'm going to take a second to clean up my stuff. We've got the oil over here. Don't need that anymore. Don't need the pan. Don't need the arugula that's lying on there. Hope you guys are enjoying my comedy tonight. I am going to need a knife, but I'm going to get my duck slicing knife. And because you want it nice and sharp. And my wife and I got these custom-made knives in Japan, and they did our names in Japanese on the knives. And I don't know, mine's always a little bit sharper. But I sharpen both of them for us, but maybe I don't use it against bone. Very important if you're using a Japanese steel knife, not to use it against bone because it dulls it very quickly. Okay, so in terms of plating, I'm going to try to figure out what's going to go right. So we need to slice the duck. The potatoes and mushrooms are going to go first. The asparagus is on top. Slice the duck, sauce diab. In terms of the shortcake, we're going to slice it. And you know what? Because I'm going to take pictures, I'm going to do the shortcake right now. Because it really doesn't need to be super hot for me. Because it's not going to be super hot for me by the time that we eat this thing. So I'm going to jump ahead. And I don't need this over here. So another good reason for having the sharp knife, we are going to slice this in half. The reason why we don't send it to you sliced in half is because it will dry out. Okay. This probably would have been better if I baked it the whole way. So make sure to bake yours the whole way. But I'm doing ours for photos and for video for you guys. So next up, got a few different things. Hopefully you can see this. Let me move it over here. So now you got your two slices. Got your whipped cream down first. And next, the gin macerated strawberries. Make sure you get all of that good juice stuff. Because who doesn't like gin that's been, or strawberries that have been marinated in gin for that whole time? Make sure it spills over a little bit so you can see all of them when you put the top on. And then we've got this fresh mint. Go on top and sort of around the plate. There we go. And then you take your topper. That's pretty good looking, all things considered. There, it's our lovely strawberry shortcake. Okay, main course coming up. Let's clear off the dessert stuff. So duck should be rested at this point, but let's start with the veg, as it would come out. Make sure my sauce is looking good. Give it a stir so it doesn't have that little crust on top. We're going to spread out our potatoes first. And you can mix these in or you can keep them separate. I know some people like to keep things separate. But I think the chef was right on how long the stuff was for. So I'm going to split the difference and we're going to say like 18 minutes in total. Make sure to divide evenly. Okay, asparagus next. Don't forget to turn off your oven, which I do often. Lovely asparagus. Springtime is so great. All these flavors that we haven't experienced for a long time. These baking sheets are easier to wash And we've got our 2 duck. So you want to cut it because each breast is basically cut in half, and so you want to cut it so that it's the short side. Cut it with the fat side down because it's easier that way, and then you can flip it over and season it and put it on top. Cut it as thinly as you can because the thinner it is, the more tender it is. I think I did pretty good on this. So it's a nice medium rare. If you want to do it a little bit more, if you want medium or medium well, you can leave it in the oven just a couple minutes longer. All right. Now the key is to try to get a fan out of it. So spread it all along, and you can flip the last side so you see it red. There we go. Hit it with a little salt and pepper. Hopefully that didn't block your view. So I'm going to spread it all down. Looking good. Not just the picture one, all of it. And now, give it a little stir, turn this off. The chef is always a big proponent of sauce on the plate because it looks prettier, and then you can sort of dip your stuff in. But I'm a big fan of putting sauce on top. So for the picture, I'm going to do what he says because he was right on the potatoes and mushrooms. But for you guys, if I were you, I would pour this on top of the duck as well. Sauce diab is a demi-glaze based sauce. That's some special ingredients in it. It is monstrously delicious. So there's our lovely roasted duck magret, done sous vide with the asparagus, roasted baby potatoes, and king rengi mushrooms. I hope you loved your meal, and thank you so much for ordering and for all of your support. And I really hope we get to cook and curate for you again really soon.